Let's go through all the currency pairs and commodities and see if there's any trading setups to take. It's November 21st, Tuesday. And what's on the docket for this week? Nothing really coming out of any interest to me this week. So could be somewhat of a quiet week. So let's take a look at silver. So I got into a position on silver a few weeks back here. Ended up dropping a little bit lower before taking off. This whole business here I don't like. So I'm going to be waiting for, so I put here new 4-hour uptrend, but that's not even good enough. I'd need this daily supply out. So daily supply out for longs. I think that's the only time I should be looking to trade this one, is when that daily supply is out, because it's just such a mess here. So let me place an alert here. Daily supply out. Play along. So I'll let it take its time, and then when it's ready I will step in. Until then I'll just leave it alone. Gold. So same thing with gold here. Gold daily chart's very messy. We're testing this daily area of demand again. I took a position on gold here, expecting price to head higher, but that didn't happen. So now I will be interested in trading gold. This area of daily supply, it was just a quick test and drop, so I expect another drop from here, which would make this tested for the second time. So a 4-hour demand zone that causes the removal of this area here could work for a long if it would look really nice. So let's put an alert here. I'll put a question mark so I can check it out when the time comes. 1302.09. Oh, 1306. 1306.09. There we go. So I think until at least this area gets taken out and we get a second test, that daily area supply, taking longs won't be great. Also, we got that weekly supply right above. So we're reacting from monthly demand, hit daily supply, above a weekly uptrend or weekly supply. We're going to need a weekly demand because this is top of the range, and monthly is not trending upwards, right? So we could get a second hit. So gold is going to be what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not even bother. The upside is not it's not exposed yet, because we're going to get a reaction from this weekly area supply, and then it can test the weekly demand, monthly demand, or it could even react from a daily. See, what we could get is price coming up here, breaking through this area of daily demand, or supply, sorry, retracing back to the zone that caused its removal, and then yeah, we could get that. That could work. Hit the weekly, hit the daily, and up. So what I'll do is, once it hits weekly supply and comes down, if it does test the area, a demand zone, I'll wait for momentum shift and maybe take 4-hour longs all the way up. I think that would be the best play. Yeah. So for now, there's really no trades to take on gold. No high quality trades, at least. So let's go on to the next one, oil. So what I'm expecting in oil is a bigger drop from this weekly supply down here to the weekly demand, where I'd like to take longs. So that means dropping down here, momentum shift, and then up. So momentum shift on the 4-hour will be good, considering we have monthly uptrend. So that's what I'll do, is I'll wait for price to see. I expected a reaction because there was a daily area of demand here, right? So we got the reaction, but I believe we're going to get a breakdown, momentum shift, and then up like that. So that's what I'm waiting for on oil. So for now, I'm just holding tightly and not making any moves. So as for the US dollar, let me see here. So I do believe we're going to get a bigger drop lower. But is this the area where it's reacting to, which is going to cause the eventual move downwards? That's the big question here. We have this area of daily supply here, which I believe if price does get up, we're going to get a reaction to the downside, and it could just be a move like this in the near future. So a move up and then a move downwards. It's very possible. I don't believe we're going to get this move here. That's just speculation, but I really don't think that's going to happen. You know, if you look at the US Swiss franc and you look at the US CAD and you look at the US dollar Japanese yen, they're all ready for a bigger move to the downside. So I think those are giving us an indication that that's what's going to happen here with the US dollar. So I'm not looking to take any trades on here. I am learning from this experience, that's for sure. So the Aussie, I took a long off of a weekly area of demand, got stopped out. So now I am waiting for momentum to shift from this area here. A very beautiful monthly imbalance here, which I believe is going to be where we're going to see a reversal from. Eventually, we could get price to drop further, or it could just be right from here. And momentum shift upwards. So just like I believe the US dollar is going to drop, I really believe that this one's going to head higher, right up to here. I really do. So I'm just waiting for that momentum shift to happen. We obviously have this trend line here on the daily. So momentum shift, and ideally this trend line to break, and then a retest of the break and take positions to the upside. Strongly want to do that. Aussie CAD, this chart's a mess. What I can tell you though is that we are testing a 3-month demand zone again for the second time. Right, doesn't even show it, but we are. See right there, testing this area. So we could see a move to the upside. We also got that trend line here, right, that is acting as a confluence. So definitely, we could definitely see a move to the upside, right? And that would make sense, because if we're expecting the Aussie to get strong, then all Aussie pairs should show a move to the upside, right? So not taking any trades on this because this chart is just a big mess. But Aussie yen, what do we see? What do we see here? We see an upward trend line here, right? That's being tested. We got a weekly area of demand being hit. And it's here where I'm looking to take new daily demand zones, right? We got an obstacle here. So preferably we want this obstacle out to take longs. So Aussie strength, but we're also expecting the yen to get stronger as well, right? With the move to the downside. So, so that's what makes this chart tricky. If I look at the bigger picture, 3-month chart. So this is a very ugly 3-month chart. Very ugly chart. Because what I do know for a fact that this area is 3 months supply up here. It's just reading this area is like very, very ugly because of these long wick candles. So at one point I had this as 3-month supply, but then I removed it because I said drop. This was a basing candle which penetrated it, therefore you look up, because if you consider this to be the demand, no, if you considered this to be the demand, then that penetration, if not, this was the supply. So it's very hard to read this one. There's a lot of ands, ifs, or buts with this chart. So I just went for the easy to read zone here being the 3 months. But it could easily be this one too. What is a fact is that this is monthly area of supply that's being respected right now. It's been tested before here and being respected. So this one's a tough one. So because it's so tough, I'd only actually, you know what, I wouldn't even take a long on this one now because we got that area, these areas of supply right above weekly. You know, if this zone gets taken out, what we have this much room to profit from, so it's not worth it. Yeah, no longs. So let me just get rid of that. Oops, I had an alert. Yeah, so I'm not taking any trades on that. Aussie Kiwi, I'm in long. Been holding this one long for quite some time, ever since here. So I got in long there. I was about to add another long position right here, which is working out so far, but I didn't take it because I didn't like the fact that we had the downward trend line here and one candle and then a drop right back. To me, that just came across as a little bit weak, but mostly because we had this downward trend line. I don't have this trend line here. According to my rules, that's not a trend line here. There's no trend line here, so I couldn't draw that trend line. But what I'll do is I'll wait for a break of this trend line, and if it tests, I'll take that long if the zone looks really good. So break of the trend line, a retest. If the zone looks great, I'll take that trade on the Aussie Kiwi. Euro. So when we were looking at the US dollar, I was saying a move to the downside. So that would suggest a move to the upside here on the euro. So we have this area of daily demand right below price. But I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, this is just horrible. Weekly supply is definitely in control. That's without a doubt. So the fact that weekly supply is in control, we could get a bigger move to the downside. Okay, we can't ignore that fact. Monthly hitting super resistance, resistance or support, and then just hitting it. So that supports the idea of a drop. So that could happen for sure. But six months chart, 6 months bullish engulf, very possible we get all the way up here. Possible, but doesn't mean that it's going to happen. I think, taking into consideration that we have a 3 and 6 month trend line here, which coincides with this really nice area of monthly supply that was responsible for removing a 3 months demand zone, which is really important. We could see this momentum shift and then a bigger move down. That could definitely happen too. So there's a lot of questions on this chart, which makes it very difficult to read. That's why I'm not taking any trades on the euro or the US dollar, because basically a lot of things can happen with it. And so I'd rather just sit on the sidelines and wait to see what happens. Obviously when you look at the CFTC report, the institutions are heavily long biased. So that leads me to believe that there's going to be some kind of a reaction here and a move to the upside, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen. So, 84,000 positions, combined with the commercial traders, it's 186,000 positions to the long side, net. Okay. 63% of their overall exposure is geared to the long side. So that's not massive, 63%, that can shift. But they've been just increasing, right? 200,000 long positions versus 115,000. Okay. But here's something interesting. Long positions are below average size. Short positions are above average size. So that could be an early indication. If longs are below average size and shorts are above average size, that could be an early indication of a bigger drop to come. So I think it's best that I just sit and wait and watch. So that's what I'm doing with the euro. Euro Aussie looks like, we're hitting highs, so could be ready for a drop. It looks like that's what's happening. So yeah, looking at the euro pairs, there's definitely the sign that price wants to drop. Price is ready to drop on these euro pairs, which supports the idea of the euro heading lower. Right? I'm not looking to take any trades on this one. Euro CAD, still sitting within monthly supply. So that could drop. And euro pound been consolidating for weeks sideways, but it looks like it's ready to head down too, so it looks like we could see that. I'm not taking any trades. Euro yen, same thing, been consolidating sideways on the weekly chart. Looks like it's exhausting itself, so we could see a bigger retracement, right? With the yen strength to come in and euro weakness, that's a very big possibility. We could see this zone break and then a drop. So new daily demand zones off weekly demand zone here, new daily, yeah, That's not happening, so shorts if weekly demand zone's taken out. Yeah, if this demand zone's taken out, we can get shorts all the way down. For sure. Euro Kiwi. See, there's another Euro pair hitting supply. And ready for a bigger move to the downside, at least to here, I would think. So, longs from weekly demand zone lower. Yeah, from there. No shorts. Yeah, we could get shorts. We could possibly get shorts all the way here. Once this area gets taken out. Very possible we get shorts there. Very, very possible. I think I saw another Euro pair that looked like it was ready to do that on the 4-hour. EuroCAD, was it? Euro Aussie, I think. Yeah, Euro Aussie. Yeah, it's already broken through that area here. It's already broken through. We could see a retrace back up to this area and then a bigger drop. And so, what is it reacting from? Right here. First test here, second test here, deeper penetration, pulling back. There we go. Okay. So the pound, I like the pound higher. This is an entry here. Possible entry. Only thing is that, yes, we had a daily zone here, but the move away was horrible. So I was looking for a good 4-hour uptrend. H4 supply zones out for long, new daily demand zones off, weekly demand lower, H4 supply zones out for longs. So H4 supply zone out for long. So basically what I was waiting for was for this area to get taken out, a retrace, and then a pullback, and then an entry in. What we ended up getting was this area being created here, it being removed. We have new demand here. Price came within pips, and it looks like it wants to rally up. I'm still waiting for this area to get taken out because, you know, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Plus, I was looking at something here yesterday. I was writing in my notebook some observations about the markets and rules and my interpretations of the market, and one thing that I noticed was this big spike down here, which got me to think about how this is the area, this is demand, so therefore this was supply. So you can see we got a reaction, deeper penetration. So definitely deeper penetration, and then breakthrough is what I'm expecting. But this is very questionable, so I'm not drawing it in. But technically that's what my brain sees. So be a good idea to wait for these highs to get out. But my main focus is to wait for this area here. Once that's out, if there's a good area of demand below, I'll take the long. Pound Aussie, I'm still in this one long, which I got in here. I've already hit my bulletproof target, so the trade is for free. Meaning if my stop gets hit, I can't lose any money, and my stops are still down here. And so I'm waiting to add to this long, but I want this area to be taken out first. Once it is, I'll buy retests. And then once this monthly area of supply is taken out, I'll move my stop loss higher. The question is to where? Move stop loss. Monthly supplies. Oh, we will have to new monthly demand. Right, we'll have new monthly demand. So we'll see what the monthly chart looks like. I'll only move my stop loss under the zone that is confirmed as a zone with the proper move away and all that stuff. So that's what I'm waiting for on pound Aussie for this out, and then buy retraces up. Pound CAD. So Forza price is up, but we got this area here right above price. It's going to end up causing issue for us. So best thing to do is to wait for this area to be out, because once that's out, we got clear skies. H4 demand zone's off, daily demand, yeah, down here. Wait for weekly supply zone out. Yeah, that's what we got to do. Wait for weekly supply zone out. So let's change that. Notes say no shorts, but take daily demand zones off the weekly demand zone down here, which would be a good idea. But is price going to drop? It's possible, but if the yen gets stronger, I mean, we're thinking the pound is going to get stronger as well, so that kind of keeps this from moving. I draw that in there. That. Then like that. Like that. Alright. So, I don't think there's going to be any good trades to take on this one. So let's go to the pound Kiwi. So this one's been showing a lot of strength to the upside. And I don't see any good trading opportunities unless price was to retrace lower, because this is too high right now. Price is just too high. I'd love to see it come back down. Ooh, but we'd need either a weak pound or a strong Kiwi. Looking at the Kiwi, I don't think we're going to be getting anything strong here. So I might just continue upwards. But I don't see any good places to get in here. This is a potential here. Something might happen off of here. So this would be a good idea to keep an eye on this area here. Just to see what happens. Set an alert here. Yeah, and just see what happens. Maybe some new H4 demand being created off here. Kiwi. So drop. This thing has been dropping and creating a nice area here. Supply. Once daily, months. You know, that's already been happened. Weekly is out. So. So maybe the weekly supply will be good once we get a further drop to the downside. US CAD. So this should be yellow. I think the institutions are heavily short biased to the US CAD, so I believe we have a good chance of seeing price drop. But if you look at the monthly, there's definitely room for it to go higher to the monthly supply before dropping. But that might not happen. You know, we are testing a monthly, so we monthly 20 EMA right now, so it could just drop from there. If I see some really strong areas of supply, I would need this area of weekly demand out first, because there wouldn't be that much room for it to drop. No, I'm not setting longs there. No, I'm not setting longs there. So for now, longs at weekly demand. If I get new daily demand zones, sure. Shorts within monthly. Yeah, okay, that's good. US dollar, Japanese yen. This one's been a tricky chart as well. Very tricky. So we created a new daily area of supply here. We have something going across. No, let me just do this. There, better. New area of daily supply. Nice consolidation away so far. Looking at the institutions, though, they're heavily long biased, but weekly imbalances in control. Then we got the trend line here, holding price down. Very easy for price to drop here, especially if the US dollar weakness does come into the chart. A drop here is to be expected, but it's too early to tell. Anything can happen with this chart, so I'm not trading it. US Swiss franc reacting from monthly supply, so a drop is very much expected, and so it would make sense. US dollar dropping as well. Bitcoin making new highs, dropped all the way down, hit this area of demand, and shot up like a rocket. So not much more to see. I'm not trading this one. Too much craziness here. Lots of stuff can happen, so I'm not taking chances with my money on this one. Right, but I am keeping an eye on it for the future. And so that's what I'm watching this week. Some possible trade setups that might happen and things that I'm waiting to happen before I get into the markets. And so yeah, that's it for this week.